Reaching by Nordryd. Hi, Sunset. You probably don't know me, but I just wanted to say that I've seen you around school a lot, and you have really pretty eyes and hair. Your hair is amazing, and I just think you're really pretty. And I mean, wow, I'm sorry. You look at yourself coldly in the mirror. Are you insane? You scold. Are you trying to scare her off? You growl in frustration, rubbing your temples to try and calm down. This has been bugging you all weekend. How hard could it possibly be to give one compliment to a girl? Girls like compliments, right? Heck, guys like compliments too. Who doesn't like being complimented? Maybe it was because of who you're trying to compliment. One of the most popular girls at school. She's popular for many reasons, mostly for her history, but also how she's tried to change herself for the better. Sunset Shimmer. Your heart flutters at the mere thought of her. She's always on your mind. You can't stop thinking about her, and you don't want to stop thinking about her. Beauty never had a truer definition until you first laid eyes on her. CHS had a lot of pretty girls, but none of them even came close to how gorgeous Sunset was. Fiery hair, twinkling turquoise eyes, a perfectly shaped body, and a smile as beautiful as, well, the sunset. You liked her even when she was mean. You always found her angry and sassy behaviour towards everything oddly cute, albeit kind of scary. But ever since she changed her ways, you've liked her even more. She seems super nice and sweet, but with the right amount of sassy sprinkled in. Sunset Shimmer was nothing short of perfect in your eyes. What you wouldn't give for the confidence to ask her out. As of now, you lack charisma, and it has kept you from talking to her. All you've been able to do is admire her from afar. Every time you see her, you just feel unworthy. You can't help but imagine her just laughing at you if you ever tried to talk to her. She probably would laugh at you too, considering the fact that every time you see her, you feel lumps form in your throat. Would you even be able to get a word out? Well, tomorrow you'd find out once and for all. You've had enough of being a coward. Admiring her from afar was nice and all, but if you could actually get her to notice you, that would be amazing. Enough is enough. You've decided that tomorrow would be the day. Tomorrow would be the day you grow some balls and talk to your crush. You'd be risking a huge amount of embarrassment, but the potential reward of being Sunset's friend outweighed any cons. There was just one problem you would have: getting Sunset alone. She's almost always with her friends. She's very rarely alone. That was your main obstacle, because you wouldn't have a chance if you talked to her when she's surrounded by her friends. That's just asking to be embarrassed. You'd have to be patient, but if you could at least introduce yourself to her, it would be worth it. Now back to practicing talking. Anything to prepare yourself. You had to make a good first impression on sunset. The next day. This was it. The moment of truth. At this very moment, Sunset was by her locker, placing things in her backpack. And she was alone. How was this possible? She's almost always with her friends. But you can't question why this was happening. You had to act. Surely, such a ripe opportunity wouldn't last long. This was your chance. The sunlight shined from the windows above onto her hair, making it look like soft fire. Oh, gosh. She was pretty. You stop yourself from gawking at her and focus on the task at hand. You've practiced all weekend in the mirror for this. This is the day you finally work up the confidence to talk to Sunset Shimmer. Just walk up to her, introduce yourself, and give her a compliment. Great hair, pretty eyes, nice shirt, something. How hard could that possibly be? Your heart is racing and feels like it's on fire. You take a few deep breaths to try and calm yourself, but it proves to be difficult, knowing what you're about to do. After taking a deep breath for about the 17th time, you decide you've stalled enough. It was time. Never before has it taken so much willpower to move your feet in order to walk. You take your first couple steps towards her. You get about halfway to her, but you suddenly stop. It was partially due to nerves, but mostly because you notice Sunset frowning. She's holding something in her hand, and her eyes aren't bright and lively like they usually are. Instead, they're somber as she stares at the item in her hand. A book with what appeared to be a red and yellow sun on the cover, though it was hard to tell from your angle. She sighs and places the book back in her locker before proceeding to get other things out. You find yourself frozen in thought as you continue to watch Sunset go about her business. Her beautiful smile never appears. She just looks sad. "Sunset, darling," a voice suddenly calls out. You watch as one of her friends walks up to her. A girl with indigo hair and a rather poised attitude. She was pretty, but not as pretty as Sunset. "Hey, Rarity," Sunset says. "Darn. Now she wasn't alone anymore. Looks like you missed your chance." "We were all going to head to lunch," the girl named Rarity says. She's about to say something else, but she stops when she notices something. You. "Can we help you with something, darling?" You snap out of the trance you were apparently in and realise something. You've been staring at Sunset this whole time in plain sight. You feel your face go completely red and your brain goes into panic mode. And it doesn't help that Sunset is looking at you right now with those diamond eyes. Well, you stammer. Sunset giggles. Are you all right? Your hand rubs the back of your neck as if it has a mind of its own. You're in total freefall at the mercy of your crush and her friend. Rarity gives Sunset a nudge. "Sunset, I think he was looking at you. Sunset's eyes go wide, and you see her cheeks flush red. Really? Sunset says. Why else would he be so flustered? Aretes says with a giggle. Oh, sorry, you say before running for it. You turn the corner and take a breath once you know you're out of their sight. Then you proceed to scold yourself. How could you stare at her in plain sight? Are you that much of a creep? It appears that you might very well be that creepy since you just did it. As you try to calm yourself down from being utterly mortified, you hear Sunset and Rarity talking. Oh, what a shame, Rarity says. I was hoping to get his name. He was probably just looking at you, Rarity, Sunset says. Sunset, darling, he was looking at you, Rarity says. I saw that look in his eyes. You feel yourself blush. They're talking about you. Your curiosity spikes and pushes you to the edge of the corner. You peer your head around, trying to be as discreet as possible. Your heart skips a beat when you see Sunset twirling her hair. Was he really looking at me? Sunset asks. I know he was, Rarity says. You watch as Sunset giggles and twirls her hair. It's perhaps the cutest thing you've ever seen. Now come along, darling, Rarity says. Let's talk with the others over a little lunch, shall we? Sunset gives her a nod before closing her locker and following her. Luckily, they walked in the opposite direction you were in, so you were safe. Wow. She was so cute when she twirled her hair. Still, how could you stare at her like that? And you missed your chance. What if that was the last chance you'll ever get? It probably will be after stalking her in plain view of everyone. How could you be so stupid? Well, there goes pretty much any chance you might have had of being hers. You lean back on the wall and slump down onto the floor. Sunset deserves better anyways. It's probably for the best. On the bright side, that's the first time you've ever made prolonged eye contact with her. How could you not stare at her? She was just so gorgeous. Merely looking at her could brighten anyone's day. Well, at least she knows you now. As her stalker. You were about to go eat lunch, but considering the fact that Sunset and her friends would be there, it would probably be best to skip it and eat when you get home. Sunset would probably grow weary if her stalker followed her into the cafeteria. With that in mind, you find a small alcove in the hall and decide to work on your calculus homework. Best to get a head start while you can to allow for more time to scold yourself over Sunset. Why do you have to be such an idiot? Well, another school day has come and gone. For the rest of the school day, you decided it would be best to not even try to talk to Sunset anymore. She basically knew you as a stalker now. If you tried talking to her, it would only solidify your current standing. So why bother? You get things out of your locker as you continue scolding yourself for being an idiot. On the bright side, at least you didn't introduce yourself, so Sunset didn't know your name. At least That was a plus, right? At the same time, she knows what you look like. What are you thinking? It was over. Just accept it and move. Hello? A voice says beside you. That voice. You hear it. And it's like the most beautiful song you've ever heard. You slowly turn your head and you flinch. It was Sunset Shimmer. It was hair in the flesh. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you, Sunset says, laughing. You manage a small laugh yourself, trying to mask the fact that your heart was burning you from the inside. Yeah, it's fine, you say. Hi, Sunset. Oh, you know my name already? Sunset says. Your eyes go wide. She hasn't introduced herself to you yet. Yeah, I do, you say. Unable to think of anything else to do, you decide to introduce yourself to make it even. You're the guy that I saw earlier, right? Sunset asks. You feel your face flush bright red, as if you weren't red enough to begin with. Yeah, you say. Sorry about that. It's alright, Sunset says, giggling a little. I'm just curious though. Did you want to ask me something back there? Your eyes go wide. Your brain short circuits. What are you supposed to say right now? That you were going to say she was pretty? That you were just trying to look at her? That you have a big crush on her and wanted to try and ask her out? All of the above would be creepy beyond belief. I was, you stammer. Sunset raises an eyebrow at your idiocy. Are you alright? I mean, yeah, I'm fine, you say. I was just going to ask you if Sunset coaxes, if you could help me with my calculus homework, you blurt out randomly. Sunset's eyes widen at your outburst, but she quickly relaxes. Really? Sunset asks. Why me? Well, you're really smart, right? You say. I just figured maybe you could give me a hand with some problems. Sunset doesn't say anything for a while, making you think you said something wrong. But your fears fade away as a smile appears on her face. I'd be happy to help you, Sunset says. Actually, I don't have anything else going on today. How about I help you over a treat at the sweet shop? You go bug-eyed. Alone time with Sunset Shimmer? Hello, Sunset says, waving her hand in your face. What? You say dumbly. I asked if you wanted to get something from the sweet shop, Sunset said. If you don't want to, that's fine. I just figured we could get something to eat while we study, you know? I'd love to, you reply quickly before she can retract her offer. Sunset smiles. Well, great. Want to get going now? Yeah, sure, you say. I can drive us if you want. Sounds great, Sunset says. Lead the way. You give her a small smile and begin walking towards your car. You look behind to make sure Sunset isn't joking around with you But she's following you, and she's smiling at you. This was too good to be true. You were going on a study date with Sunset Shimmer. No, it's not a date. It's just getting some help from a very smart classmate. More of a tutoring session, really. Still, this was too amazing. You had to contain how excited you were, though. Wouldn't want to scare Sunset off after getting this far with her. And besides, you actually did need some help with calculus. So here, you would use integration by parts, Sunset says, using a pencil to point around on your homework sheet. First, you set this part of your integral equal to u and take its derivative. You're trying to focus. You really are. But it's so hard because Sunset Shimmer is right next to you. She's the one tutoring you. You try to fix your eyes on your homework sheet, where they should be, but your gaze always drifts back up to Sunset's beautiful face. Even in the somewhat noisy atmosphere of the sweet shop, she's the only thing you see. Every breath you take captures her scent, filling your senses with delight. She smells like cinnamon. Sweet, yet spicy at the same time. Her hair falls so elegantly down her shoulders. Her captivating eyes are like two perfectly cut aquamarine gems. You okay? Sunset asks. Huh? You realise you've been staring at her again. Yeah. I'm fine, you say, refocusing your attention on the homework sheet. Or trying to, at least. Are you paying attention at all? Sunset asks. We don't have to do this if you don't want to. No, it's not that, you say. I do want your help, it's just... I'm sorry. Yes, I'm paying attention. Sunset says nothing and just raises an eyebrow. Her silence is unsettling. What's she thinking? Is she angry? Is she about to just storm out of here? But she just smiles and shakes her head, putting you at ease. Well, somewhat, anyway. Is there more to this? Sunset asks. You look at her curiously. What do you mean? Did you really want my help in homework? Or was this just an excuse to spend some time with me? Your heart drops. You feel a lump form in your throat, rendering you mute. You bite your lip as you look down at the table. Why were you so bad at answering her questions? You're not usually this bad at speaking, but it was a whole different game when Sunset was involved. How do you answer her? You can't just say you have a crush on her, right? Sunset laughs. Are you sure you're okay? You seem really flustered. You blink your eyes to try and reactivate your brain, and maybe form some actual coherent thoughts. I'm fine, I promise, you say. And I guess it was kind of an excuse? Sunset's eyes widened, and you'd swear you caught her blushing a little. Probably just your imagination, though. Why didn't you just say you wanted to hang out? Sunset asks. And be creepier than I've already been today? You say. Sunset laughs. and you feel a spark of joy within you. You made Sunset laugh. Such a huge feat. And her laugh was so cute. I guess I can understand wanting to be discreet, Sunset says. I'm sorry about earlier today, you say. I didn't mean to stare. Don't worry, Sunset says. Were you just shy or something? You rub your neck. Yeah. I'm not that good at talking to pretty girls. You hear Sunset gasp, and you gasp a little yourself. What was that? Sunset asks. You stay silent. Did you really just say that? Did you just say pretty girls? Sunset asks. You look up at Sunset, and her eyes are shining bright. Her cheeks are red, and it's definitely not your imagination. You don't say anything, but instead give her a nod. Upon nodding, her cheeks go even redder, and she starts twirling her hair. I mean, there's no need to be shy, Sunset says. You manage a small chuckle. It's... I'm just like that, I guess. Sunset giggles. You know, sometimes it's kind of cute when a guy acts shy. You feel your cheeks reddening. Really? Sure, Sunset says. At least, I think it's kind of cute. You feel your cheeks go even redder. Is she implying something? You're not sure what to say. You just find yourself staring into her eyes again, and she's looking into yours. It's not awkward. Something about it actually felt right. Well, either way, you say, blinking yourself out of your trance. I'm still sorry about earlier. Sunset blinks too, as if in her own trance as well. Oh, no worries, Sunset says. But do you mind if I ask you something? You ask. Well, what is it? Sunset asks. You looked a little sad this morning, you say. I think I saw you looking at a book of some sort. Sunset bites her lip. Oh, you saw that? Yeah, I did, you say. Is there something going on? Can we maybe not talk about that? Sunset asks. You raise an eyebrow at how quickly she said that. It was almost immediate, like she doesn't want to talk about it. Well, you've gotten this far with her. It might be best not to test her. Your curiosity is definitely piqued, and it seemed like a rather sensitive topic for her. You decide to humour her. Yeah, sure, you say. Sorry. It's okay, Sunset says. Actually, I should probably get going. Oh, okay, you say as Sunset gets up out of her seat. She slings her backpack on and gives you a small smile. This was nice, she says. Maybe if you need more help with homework tomorrow? You smile, feeling your heart dance at her words. Yeah, of course. I mean, we could still hang out even if I don't have homework, right? She giggles. Totally. Here, let me give you my number. Your eyes go wide. Her number? Without a second thought, you hand her your phone so she can enter her number in. You can't believe it. You've never gotten a pretty girl's number before, much less from a girl like Sunset. Okay, there you go, Sunset says, handing your phone back. Don't hesitate to get in touch if you need help, alright? Okay, you stammer. She gives you a smile and a wave before walking out of the shop. You can't help but notice a slight sashay in her hips as she walked. Was this the luckiest day of your life? In just one day, you've gone from total strangers to friends. You even made Sunset laugh. You send her a quick text message so she'll have your number as well. And you actually did get some decent help with your homework. Sunset sure was smart. You decide it's about time for you to head home as well. You gather your things and walk out of the shop with perhaps the biggest smile you've ever had in your entire life. Friday night. This has been perhaps the best week of your life. Ever since you got Sunset's number, you've been texting non-stop. And when you were at school, you talked whenever you could during passing periods. It was amazing. The conversations never seemed to end. She even introduced you to a few of her friends. You and Sunset were growing closer together every day, and it was an incredible feeling. And you found yourself starting to grow more comfortable around her. Relatively speaking anyways. Her incomparable beauty still made your knees weak. Maybe once you spent enough time together, you could finally ask her out. You decided to spend your night at a big football game happening at school. Amidst the cheering of everyone, all you could think about was Sunset. You weren't even paying attention to the game. You were looking around for Sunset, hoping she would be here. But she wasn't. This was a game they'd been hyping up all week, and you assumed everyone at CHS would be here. You do one more pan around the bleachers, but you don't see her fiery hair anywhere. Well, if she's not here, then there's no point for you to be here either. You get up and walk off the bleachers, heading for the exit. Oh well. At least you could still text her, and at least you'd see her on Monday. But right as you reach the stadium gate, you see something that makes your heart skip a beat. Right by the demolished Wondercourt statue, Sunset Shimmer. She's sitting right in front of the monument. You smile and immediately rush over to her. Sunset, you call out. Sunset looks at you right as you reach her, but doesn't jump up or react in any excited manner. She just looks at you. Oh, hey, she says. You can't help but notice how somber she looks. Furthermore, you notice the book right next to her. The same book with the sun graphic. You kneel down next to her. Hey, are you doing alright? I was hoping to see you at the game. She sighs heavily. Sorry. I just had something on my mind. Like what? You ask. You wouldn't understand. Sunset says. What do you mean? You ask. I mean, it probably wouldn't make any sense. Sunset says. So what? You coax. Even if I can understand, I can try to help a friend feel better, right? Sunset looks at you again, like she's studying you for any sign of deception. I don't like seeing you sad, you say, feeling yourself blush a little. Sunset looks down at the ground and sighs again. Do I belong here? Sunset asks. What? You ask. You know I'm not from here, right? Sunset asks. I mean, I think everyone knows after the fall formal, you say. Sunset reaches down and takes the book in her hand, looking at it, studying it. I was such a horrible person, Sunset says. I can't believe how horrible I was. I had such a great life back home. I had the greatest mentor anyone could ask for, and I had a position that others would kill for. And they threw it all away just because I was impatient. I came here, took over the school by being mean to everyone, and then it all came crashing down before my eyes. I mean, I'm glad the old me is a thing of the past, but people still hate me for it. Some students still give me a hard time about it, telling me to go back where I belong, back home. Sometimes I just wonder if I belong here. I wonder if I should just go home. But that would mean dealing with a whole new set of mistakes. I'd have to deal with all the people I betrayed and would completely be at their mercy. But if I stay here, I just deal with old flames. I wish I could undo all the mistakes I ever made. I don't belong here. And I don't even belong in my own home world. I've made so many mistakes. And now I am an alien. I don't belong anywhere. What am I even doing here? You listen intently as Sunset vents. Her last sentence makes a tear fall down her cheek, tugging at your heartstrings. Hey, don't cry, you say. Come here. You wrap your arms around Sunset, trying to comfort her. She leans on your shoulder as she proceeds to cry. You let her get her emotions out, brushing her hair to try and help. Her hair is so soft, weaving smoothly through your fingers. A few minutes passed as you comfort Sunset. Hearing her cry was doing a number on your heart, but you were more than happy to try and make her feel better. When she starts to calm down, you find the words to say to her. You belong here, Sunset, you say. She looks up at you with raw cheeks and bloodshot eyes. How do you know? Sunset asks. I've messed up so much. I could have been happy if I were patient, but now I don't belong anywhere. You belong here, Sunset, you say again. Sunset purses her lips and looks down. I just wonder if I'm being a coward by not facing my problems, Sunset says. I should go home and fix what I did wrong, but I'm just scared. I don't know if I can face my mistakes. Am I being a coward by hiding here? You sigh. You honestly can't put yourself in Sunset's position because her problem is so unique. Huge mistakes have rendered her an outcast, even from her own home. As difficult as her problem is, you know you have to make that beautiful smile appear on her face. Until then, you can't possibly leave her alone. Sunset, do you want to know what I think? You ask. Sunset sighs. What do you think? I think you're brave, you say. Sunset gives you a quizzical look. Brave? How? How? You say. Instead of running home once everything came crashing down, you decided to stay and change your ways. You endured so many students disliking you, but you got through it. You could have gone back home at any time, but you stayed. You took the high road and strived to change your ways. You tried something bold and brushed her hair out of her face. Her eyes seem to glimmer as you do this. I know you're scared of going home, but you still could have left at any time. But you stayed, and now you're one of the nicest girls I've ever met. You faced your problems head on, decided to learn from it, and make yourself a better person. If that's not bravery, I don't know what is. She looks at you with a twinkle in her eye as you stroke her cheek. She looks at your hand and uses her own hand to touch yours. I never thought of it like that, Sunset said. And then the most wonderful thing happened. Sunset's beautiful smile emerged once again. At that moment, it was the prettiest thing in the world. Can I tell you something? You say. Sunset doesn't respond with words, but instead a nod as she nuzzles your hand. When I was, creeping on you earlier this week, it wasn't because I needed help with homework. Sunset looked at you curiously. Then, why'd you do it then? You take a deep breath. I've had a crush on you for a while now. Sunset's eyes widen. Really? She asks, moaning as you caress her cheek. Yeah, you say. I've always thought you were really smart and talented and cute. It's at that moment you realise how close your face is to Sunset's. As if your mind is working on its own, you feel your head move forward. At the same time, Sunset seems to inch closer to you. You have really pretty eyes, you say. Sunset's eyes dilate. You really think so? They're beautiful, you say. You feel her breath on your lips. Your hand stops stroking her cheek to cup her face. You realise her hands are on your shoulders, and your other hand has found its way to her waist. Another puff of her breath on your lips pushes you over the edge, and you close the gap. Your lips touch, and it's as if fireworks have gone off. Every movement of her soft, tender lips is like an explosion of colour and pleasure. You feel her moaning into your mouth as she begins massaging your shoulders. You wrap your arm around her waist and use your hand to brush her hair. Her scent fills you, enrapturing your senses with the sweet yet spicy aroma of cinnamon. Her lips are so delicious, exceeding even your wildest fantasies. She mirrors every movement of your lips flawlessly, sending you into a world of total bliss. You feel her hands start to explore around, brushing your hair and wrapping her arm around your waist. You reciprocate by caressing her waist, tracing her perfectly curvy and sexy figure. You feel her squeak a little as you move one of your hands down to her thigh, getting dangerously close to her cute butt. Her squeak immediately turned into a moan as her hands move ever more voluptuously. Suddenly, nothing else mattered. Nothing else mattered but Sunset and her sweet, delicious lips. And soon, your passionate moment was over. You pull away and are met with the most beautiful eyes you've ever seen, accompanied by the prettiest smile in the world. Sunset Shimmer has never looked so beautiful. You reach your hand up and play with a little strand of hair in front of her face. You don't know why, but you've always found that little strand of hair to be strangely cute. Then again, everything about her was cute. Sunset giggles as you do this. It's perhaps the most adorable giggle you've ever heard, and you can't help but smile. "I think you belong here, Sunset," you say, moving your hand down to stroke her cheek again. "You have friends, people who care about you, including me." Sunset smiles and nuzzles your hand as you caress her cheek. "Thanks," Sunset says. "Really, I needed this." You smile as you continue to stroke her cheek, making her moan. You do something bold and kiss her cheek, making her giggle. "You're so pretty, Sunset," you say. Her eyes glimmer again. "Wow." "Thanks." Sunset blushes profusely, and it's adorable. "You're really sweet. You know that, right?" Now it was your turn to blush. It was hard to believe all of this was happening. "Why don't we get out of here?" you suggest. "Maybe get something from the sweet shop?" Sunset's expression suddenly turns to one that's more enticing. "That sounds nice, but," she says. You watch as she takes her jacket off, giving you a sly look. "Maybe we could kiss some more before we go?" Your eyes go wide. The way she's looking at you is hypnotic. You are totally under her spell, and you are loving it. "Get over here," you say, lunging forward for a big, passionate kiss. She melts in your arms, and you feel your mind drift off as you become lost in her amazing lips. Sunset Shimmer, your crush was all yours. You did it. After waiting for such a long time, you finally did it, and it was nothing short of magical. Sunset belonged here. There was no doubt about it. She may be a little different, but that makes her unique. It makes her special. And as long as you're able, you'll do everything in your power to show her why she belongs here. Because no matter what she's done in the past, no matter what mistakes she's made, no matter how bad she used to be, you care about her. And from now on, you'll treat her like the angel that she is. It's what a special girl like Sunset Shimmer deserves. Did it get hot in here? Blimey, I'm pulling my collar.